Wash your hands, don't touch your face, wipe things down, clean up your space. When you cough and sneeze, do responsibly. If you feel you're getting ill, isolate at home and chill. No, you're not alone. Please pick up your phone and call 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health Community Radio Station will provide you with more information. Say Rainier Avenue Radio. Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hello, listener. What's important to you about what's going on in your community? Are you interested? Are you concerned? In any case, I invite you to tune into my show, Seattle Here and Now, on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Why? I will be covering a wide range of topics important to you and impacting the community. Each show will have a special guest or guests to share with you information on a variety of subjects that are happening here and now in Seattle. I promise I will work hard to make my show informative, interesting, and entertaining. Be sure to listen to Seattle Here and Now on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Let's try that again. Bettina, Carey here. Hello, world. I'm so happy to be here on Rainier Avenue Radio, where we help you to shatter your glass ceilings with an S, because, well, glass ceilings are meant to be shattered, not merely broken. If you've been looking for a way to shatter yours, you've come to the right place. Get known, get paid, and mentor Amazon #1 best-selling author Nancy Juetten guides subject matter experts and speakers to get known and get paid for their brilliant work in the world, even if no one knows their names yet. The author of the popular Bye Bye Boring Bio workbook, Nancy is also a contributing author to the National Speakers Association book Speak More, Marketing Strategies to Get More Speaking Business, and the World's Greatest Speakers, Insider Secrets to Move Your Audience to Action. Clients welcome more inbound client inquiries, leads, and sales while elevating their own celebrity as a direct result of what she shares. These days, Nancy guides successful service professionals to book themselves right on podcasts like this one without hiring an expensive booking agency. Welcome, Nancy. It's so great to have you here today. It's an honor and a privilege.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here.
So I neglected to unmute myself in the beginning, and what I was reflecting on right there is the shattering glass. So the show is all about shattering ceilings, and so I'm really interested to talk to you a little bit more about how you help folks to shatter theirs.
How do I help people shatter their glass ceiling? Well, I guess what I would say is the last 18 months or so, a lot of people were sort of stopped cold by the pandemic. If they were used to speaking up on live stages and going to live events, that kind of stopped all at once. And that means revenue wasn't flowing because people weren't able to meet and connect and do business. But because of Zoom and because of podcasts and because of all these opportunities we have to speak up virtually, I've been teaching people how to claim their place at the virtual microphone so that they can connect with people around the country, around the world, in their own backyard. And through the long form conversation of having a great discussion about something specific and terrific, listeners may find that what you were talking about is exactly the problem they need solved. And when the interview is over, who are they going to call? They're going to call you. So that's been a big focus of what I've been doing the last 18 months, is empowering people to take their place on more virtual stages so that they can bring in the leads, the clients, connections, and the cash.
Yes, so this hot visibility strategy that you've tapped into is really phenomenal. What are some of the results business owners can welcome when they make that decision to focus on this strategy?
Well, leads, clients, connections, and cash are the top 4. And there's other benefits as well. You know, when you get a chance to talk to someone of influence who has their own platform, like this show, there are listeners that are paying attention, that are looking for opportunities. But the other thing that sometimes people forget is the host may be looking for opportunities, or the host may know people who are looking for someone just like you. So when you create a relationship with someone in a conversation, when the microphone goes silent, you can create a joint venture partnership. You can share referrals among and between each other. My clients are creating joint venture partnerships. They are building their lists. They are growing their businesses. They're getting more phone calls, and they're even showing up, delivering their podcast pitch in a Facebook group and being selected to be the player to be named later because someone was canceled at the last minute and the host needed to bridge the gap with someone that she had heard or seen only for a moment. So if you are open to being visible and sharing your message in a winning way, you just don't know who's watching, but there's somebody out there that's going to be resonating with what it is that you do, how it is that you do it, how it is that you say it, and how it is that you show up. And there will be opportunities for you to share that message with an even wider audience.
Yes, and Nancy, you know, that's exactly what happened to me. I've been following you for about 20 years, and I literally was working on podcast guesting, and lo and behold, the producer here for this show contacted me to do one spot for speakers a month, the Women's History Month this March, and I picked 5 talented female and male speakers to be talking into that subject. And then I got a call right away. Bettina, 30-minute show. Are you interested? I was like, absolutely. Let me say yes to that. And that opportunity came because as I'm working with you, I had a ready-made bio. I had everything in place, and I could instantly step into the role without even batting an eyeball. And I think it goes without saying, what you do is par excellence. I mean, there is absolutely nobody on the planet that I know of anyway that does what you do in the manner in which you do it.
Well, thank you. That's such high praise, and I so appreciate it. And I'm so happy for your success. And, you know, when my clients practice what it is that I teach them, and they welcome the successes that they didn't even know were possible, I think that's just incredibly rewarding. It lets me know that my legacy is alive today. And, you know, the way this whole thing started, it was kind of a funny thing, because for years I was a publicist standing behind really important, famous people, and nobody knew my name. And when I started to feel a little publicity envy for all the accolades and recognition that my clients were welcoming, and I started practicing my own publicity for my own expertise, I decided that I was going to behave and believe as if the most important person was going to call me tomorrow, even if nobody knew my name at the time. But just by making that decision, I started showing up in a world-class way with useful content to share. And I'll never forget the day that NPR called me while I'm sitting on a lounge chair in sunny San Diego. And they say, hey, we found you in a Google search. We had a cancellation. We're looking for someone just like you. Can you be on the show tomorrow morning at 9:00, National Public Radio? I'm in my bathing suit. I've got my iced tea. I'm on vacation. Most people getting a call like that would be panicking, but I wasn't. I just sat up in my chair and said, I'm honored to be asked. Thanks for the opportunity. And in a matter of moments, you will have my headshot, my third person bio, 50 words or less, my headshot, my bio, and the questions I most frequently asked when I'm interviewed. How more can I help you create a fabulous show for yourself and for your national audience? And then she paused and she laughed and she said, will you please teach the world to do what you just did? So I've been teaching people how to get ready for media opportunity for a decade or more. And it's mostly because I took that strategy as my approach to leapfrog over other people with bigger names simply because I was prepared.
Yes. And you're just an amazing role model, and you have a really compelling story. So go back a little bit to maybe in the 2000s so that we can set the stage for folks to really get to know you better.
Well, I'll start way back when. I think when I was born, I came into the world with a pen in one hand and a megaphone in another. I was a born promoter. Is it any surprise I was the editor of my high school newspaper? I became a publicist, standing behind powerful people whose names you would know, like Alice Cunningham of Olympic Hot Tub Company, and Fran Bigelow of Fran's Chocolates, and Jean Thompson of Seattle Chocolate Company, and 4 community banks with big names that you would know. But when the Great Recession happened, my business fell apart because publicity all of a sudden didn't seem so urgent. So what I ended up doing is I wrote a book called Bye Bye Boring Bio that helped people in the Great Recession attract clients, speaking gigs, and media opportunities at Hello. And that set me on a whole trajectory to become the Bye Bye Boring Bio queen. And I rode that horse for a good long time. And then when COVID-19 happened, I'm thinking to myself, here we go again, another black swan event. Like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So it was really a full circle moment for me to revisit my publicity background and my Bye Bye Boring Bio expertise and pivot in a new way to serve virtual speakers and messengers who need to speak up virtually when they can't even leave their house because of the shelter in place. And it just turned out to be just a beautiful serendipity of timing and opportunity where I've been able to serve people around the world in this very specific way and be a blessing at a very challenging time in our nation and our world.
And yesterday we had the opportunity to bring you into the We Empower You Circle, the global virtual summit that we do every single quarter on the second Wednesday when the seasons change. And it was so spectacular to have you deliver, and such value that you are delivering every single day, I believe. And tell us a little bit more about what's coming up for you.
Well, I am very excited that starting on Monday, September 13th at 11 o'clock a.m., something very special is happening. It's called the Podcast Visibility Live Lab. And this is a multi-day, free, high-value, and virtual training where each day I'm going to guide my participants to prepare their mindset and their message, to position their expertise such that a host would be excited to talk to them, to prioritize the right shows that would allow them to get booked quickly without hiring an expensive booking agency, how to pitch so the host will say yes, how to ping pong people back into your world so that they want to do business with you, so ultimately you can profit. We're going to walk through all 6 of these steps with bite-sized training, bite-sized homework, and major size victories as you get empowered to know how to do this yourself, so you're never hungry for an audience ever again, regardless of world circumstances.
I think what you've discovered, and we've stumbled onto it too with the We Empower You community, is recession-proof business opportunities. And you talk a lot about getting media ready, media savvy, on point, on message. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you decide that you want to speak up on more live and virtual stages, one of the most important parts of getting ready is preparing your mindset for what's to come. And that is to tell yourself, my message is worthy of a much wider audience, and my business is worthy of sales beyond expectations. And I'm going to prepare for opportunity as if the most important person is going to call me tomorrow. Because when you take on those mindset shifts, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And all of a sudden, you sit up taller in your chair. You prepare your media one sheet so that you are truly ready for opportunity. You prepare your 1-minute podcast pitch so that if you were ever asked, what would you say to a host in 1 minute or less, you can drop it just like that with confidence, ease, and moxie. So these are some of the things that you can do to prepare your mindset and to prepare your message so that you can go get on with the business of speaking up on the right shows. Because you know what? You cannot sell a Rolex watch to a migrant farm worker. Whatever it is that you want to talk about has to be something that the host is interested in and the audience is interested too, or else your opportunity to ping pong people back into your world to profit is pretty darn limited. So, for example, my husband is a financial advisor. He helps baby boomer families that are within 10 years of retirement retire abundantly. Where could he speak up about financial planning and estate planning and anticipating needs? You know, any show that's about midlife women would probably be interested to hear from him. Midlife women are concerned about whether or not they're going to have enough money left at the end of the professional career. You want to choose shows that are right for what it is that you're talking about, because otherwise, let's face it, it does take time to do hair, makeup, lighting, show up, do the talk, have the conversation. And when you ping pong people back into your world or not, I mean, you want to have a result. So don't waste your time talking to shows that have 0 listeners. Don't waste your time talking to shows that aren't the right match. And get laser focused on what shows would be the right match. And I'm going to teach you how to find those shows when we do the Podcast Visibility Live Lab. And there's so much more that I have to say about that.
Yes. And last week, you actually talked with our group about making sure that you up-level your game. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you want to hang out with turkeys and cackle with the turkeys, or do you want to soar with the eagles? So there are plenty of shows that are just starting out that I call the low-hanging fruit. And I really do think that if you're brand new at podcast guesting and you have to dial in your message and get comfortable under the lights and with the microphone on, you really do yourself a good service by doing 10 or 20 shows that are what I call the low-hanging fruit, where the audience isn't particularly big, but you can fail quickly or excel rapidly without having a lot of pressure. But once you've done 10 or so shows and you feel really good about your message, you're going to say to yourself, for the time that I'm putting in to do this kind of work, I think I deserve a much wider audience. So that's when you're going to want to get aspirational and you're going to think to yourself, what are the 8 really great shows that I would aspire to be a guest on? And when you start listening to those shows while you're driving, while you're walking your dog, while you're mowing your lawn, while you're doing your chores, whatever, listen to the shows that you want to be on. Post a 5-star review so the host will see it. Decide that that's an editorial environment that feels like a place that you can't wait to step up. And then when you feel courageous, make a pitch the host can't resist, because you know what? If you have the courage to ask for what you want, you just might get what you ask for. You could have a magnificent conversation where there could be hundreds or thousands of people listening. And if they love what you say and how you say it and the value they gain from it, when the host says to you, tell me, Nancy, where can our listeners go to learn more about how you can help them solve this important podcast visibility challenge? I'll be able to say, go here, run and don't walk, and I can't wait to see you on the other side. And you know what? The people who fell in love with whatever I said are going to run and not walk to go get that. And the people that got value will still be well served. If you could be aspirational and go after the big aspirational shows, just like I was saying earlier, who you are and how you show up, how you do anything is how you do everything. So when you get on the bigger shows, you know what? You're playing a bigger game. And the people who are listening to those shows, they listen to those shows because they have income. They want to learn more to earn more. And if you are the solution to a problem that's deeply felt on their side, you could be the answer to their prayer, and you can start smiling all the way to the bank as soon as they call you.
Absolutely. Who do you aspire to be on? What show?
Well, I have been reaching up to people that I want to have on my show. And one of the most important persons that I want to have on my show is Jack Canfield, who is the author of The Success Principles, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And I just reached out to them not long ago, and they responded back with the form I need to fill out, but I'm definitely under consideration. what I have a show of my own. It's on YouTube. It's called the Learn More, Earn More Show. And what I have discovered is that when I reach up to people who I admire already, and I have the opportunity to prepare beautifully for that interview, to showcase and edify that guest in a world-class way, when the microphone goes silent, the guest will typically say, wow, you really prepared. I can't believe you found that out about me. Where did you discover that? You're really a gracious, generous host. As a matter of fact, I'm so impressed. May I invite you to be a guest on my program? And the world is a beautiful place when it comes to reciprocity and putting good karma out. So because I have a show of my own, I can reach out to people and reach up to people and invite them to be a guest. And I'm not attached to being invited to be a guest on their show, but I know that some wonderful outcome is going to unfold when I do a great job on their behalf. And I'm just arms wide open to receive it. With regard to shows that I would love to be a guest on, I would say that John Lee Dumas's Entrepreneur on Fire show would be at the top of the list. And he has a show every single day. He's one of the most popular entrepreneurial podcasters on the planet. And I think that when I think about what it would be like to be a guest on his show, it does force me to be better as a master of my craft and to see how I can raise the bar to be better every day. And I think to the extent that we all can raise the bar to be better every day, our clients that we have now are going to be better served, and our own world is going to be better served, and our own income is going to be better served.
I just love what you're doing, Nancy. You and I have been friends for years. I've followed you forever. I work with people that need what you have, and they're listening and they're watching here today. And so I have one final question for you, and that is, should people be pitching themselves, or would they hire an agency to do that? You pitch yourself, I pitch myself. What if they're not comfortable? What do you say to that?
Well, you can either, if you have the money to invest meaningfully in a quality firm that can pitch on your behalf, awesome sauce to you. If you have more time than money, you can learn the skills to pitch yourself and feel very fiscally responsible and rather smug about the fact that you own these skills within your own organization and that you can hire it out only if you so choose. What I believe is that when a host, I mean, let's just face it, I doubt that Jack Canfield pitches himself. But if he were to pitch himself and you were to get a call from him, my guess is that your head would whip back and you'd say, Jack Canfield wants to be on my show. Oh my gosh, I'm actually talking to the real deal. I think that when you are a CEO, president of your own company, and you care enough about your celebrity and your credibility and your visibility to inquire on your own behalf, the person who's receiving the message has a head whip reaction and says, holy cow, I'm talking to someone who's a player. Because sometimes when someone's pitching you, someone could be smiling and dialing on your behalf, and it won't feel as personal and it won't feel as important. So those are a couple of my thoughts. I love pitching myself because I'm a fiscally responsible person, and I'm also a well-trained publicist who knows exactly what to do and how to do it. If I have the discretion to hire out services, I'm going to hire things out that I don't know how to do so that I can get the value that is imbued in that investment. But this is not difficult to do. You just have to make a commitment and believe that visibility is an imperative and not an option. And I guess I would also say, if I might, that the beauty of being a guest on a show is that people will listen to you while they're driving or mowing their lawn or walking their dog. If they got value, they will be better off for having had that conversation. There's no selling involved when you're on a podcast. It's just two people having a juicy conversation. But if you are the solution to a problem that's deeply felt, when people do call you, they will be pre-sold because they heard you and liked what they heard enough to want to continue the conversation. And I think that to me is the best part, because some people don't like sales calls. Some people don't like to be sold to. People want to be served and delighted with aha insights that can make their life or work better. And to the extent that you as a guest can provide that, it's going to open a door that people can walk through that can be a bridge to a great partnership for commerce.
I love that. And visibility being the imperative, of course. If you're doing what we're doing, we have the voice, we have the message, and you have the solution. You're an incredible role model. You're modeling for others exactly what you do. And so it's not like you're saying, do what I say, but doing something else. You're actually doing exactly what you say. And I have watched you grow over the last year in particular. This was an important year for all of us who have messages, obviously with COVID and being in lockdown at times, and speaking platforms going away and bye-bye. So thank you so much. We have a few moments to talk about the upcoming September 13 kickoff that you have. Share a little bit more, and we'll put on the podcast visibility link also up there. So go ahead and mention that too.
Sure. If you are excited to learn to book yourself on the right shows so your message can travel far and wide, I'd love for you to participate in the Podcast Visibility Live Lab that's starting on September 13th at 11 o'clock Pacific. And the link will be scrolling across the screen. And I want you to run and not walk. It's free to participate. And when you do, you're going to get bite-sized assignments, bite-sized content, bite-sized homework, and opportunities to succeed each day, one right after the other. And when we are complete with the training, which is about 5 days, you will probably have booked yourself on a couple of shows and have a whole new window to opportunity that you can't wait to explore to your benefit.
Yes, yes. And there's a hashtag that goes behind that link that we just put up. So it's podcast visibilitylivelab.com. And then it's the PV PVLL Bettina. So glad to have had you here today, Nancy. You're a rock star in my little world. You just knocked it out of the park again. You were there at the We Empower You Global Virtual Summit yesterday. And of course, hopefully we'll be continuing our path in collaboration as we always have. And it's just been such a pleasure to have you. We welcome you back anytime.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, great. So for those of you who are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio, our next show coming up is God is Inspiration. Join us next week, same time, 1:30 p.m. each Thursday, and we'll see you then. Bye for now, everybody. Take care. Bye, Nancy. Ask most anyone if they feel empowered in all areas of their life. If they're honest, they'll likely say no. Hi, I'm Bettina Carey, and I may be only 4'9½", but what I do is big. Dream big, break through, and connect to powerful people like you. And what I'm doing is to break through, shatter their revenue glass ceiling. And I'm here to tell you that the We Empower You community is where you're going to want to be. It's a community. It's a membership. It's a movement. And what we're doing is helping you to start and run your online business without doing a thing. We're helping you to find angel investors that you don't have to pay back, to run your own membership program where you don't have to do the work, and so much more. We are here to empower you at the We Empower You Global Summit and the WeEmpowerYourLife.com. Visit us on the web at WeEmpowerYourLife.com or text the word Bettina to 555-888. We'll see you at the summit.